Welcome. Hello. Hola. Guten Tag. Or as some might say. So, we are back. Day 2 of, well, I guess day 2 and technically day 3 of free agency is here. It is upon us. And to some extent, it has passed. It is 8:03 p.m. at the time of my recording. There are certainly some major moves that are still potentially going to be made. But as of right now, this is sort of where we are. I'm trying to remember where I ended, because it is the first today, so I ended on July 31st. Or excuse me, June 31st. I guess June 30th, sorry, I thought. Excuse me. Don't act like you knew the day of the month either. But can I... Alright, it's been a minute. Can I finally say it now? What do you mean I can't? Do we need to have words? Do we... I'll take it out back. I'll take it out back with you. You don't want to? Okay, good. Yeah, you pull those pants up. Get your sexy ass out of here. Sorry about that. It's good to have you. I know I said that already, but, I had to ensure, now that he's back, I can keep the bit going. Okay. So, July 1st, not Woj, good God. I miss him every day. Shams' first post was about J.J. Barea agreed to join the Denver Nuggets as an assistant coach under David Adelman. Cool. I will say, this is from Jake Fisher. This isn't me just pulling things out of my ass. Apparently, the Nuggets are not giving Adelman much to work with in terms of, finances to fill out his coaching staff. We'll see what impact that has. I mean, it probably doesn't have an impact that we end up seeing, but we'll see. Something to keep an eye on. Shea, 4-year, $285 million. Keeps him through 2030 through 2031, right? Like, you have to do that. 27 or 28 now. His game's fairly evergreen. I mean, you gotta do it. I know that's riveting content, but this is an interesting one that I actually like. 2-year, $12 million contract for the New York Knicks. Now, you're probably saying, Owen, who signed a 2-year, $12 million contract? Well, wouldn't you like to know? No, I'm just kidding. Guerschon Yabusele, 2-year, $12 million deal. Second year, I think non-guaranteed. So we'll see if he ends up picking up that player option. But yeah, I don't mind this move at all for the Knicks. I think this gives them an interesting extra offensive piece. I mean, we'll see how well he works out, but theoretically, Guerschon is a small 5, bigger 4, who can shoot, who can pass, who can, attack closeouts, who can make right cuts. Sometimes the right reason should maybe fit well in Mike Brown's offense. We'll have to see, but just from a purely, fit perspective, I like it. You need center depth. You need forward depth. Great. Guerschon Yabusele can fill both. If you ever want to start him, go 5 out. Great. He can do that. Or if you want to bench him, he's not good enough to, be mad at you for doing it. This is the big one. Should I tell you? No, I don't know if I will. Yeah, you know what? I won't. Beg. More. I'm sorry. I learned about stuff today. No, I'm just... stuff I can't joke about on here. It's not anything bad. And to me, it's related to cornfields, but without the corn and replace the C. I can't even say it in that order. Instead of the letter that makes it sound K, replace it with P. just because saying those two letters together implicates something negative. I learned about, like, jokes surrounding BDSM, and one of them is begging. I know that's an aspect of BDSM, but whatever. Okay, moving on. Free agent Miles Turner agreed to a 4-year, $107 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks, with a 15% trade kicker. Now, you're probably thinking, Owen, how the hell did they pull that off? I thought they were hard capped, and you know what? My dear viewers, you're right. They were hard capped. But Damian Lillard has been waived and stretched. You heard me right. No, your phone isn't, being buggy. It's still working. Damian Lillard was waived and stretched. The Bucks will now be paying off his contract for 4 years, about $25 million a year, if I recall correctly, maybe $520, but like it's substantial, right? Like it's a large amount. But this cleared up the cap space to let them sign Miles Turner, who reportedly did want to stay in Indiana, but Indiana's owners are a bunch of cheapskates who were not willing to offer Miles Turner adequate money. Now, if you know me, you're somebody, like, you would know that I'm somebody who's thought that Miles Turner at times has been incredibly overrated to underrated. Like, I personally would not have given him a deal like this, but I understand the Bucks' logic for doing it. I don't take any issue with this deal per se. I gotta give, is it Horst? Who's the Bucks GM? Yeah, John Horst. Okay. Nailed it. Let's go. John Horst is a terrible drafter, but he's pretty creative at keeping his team competitive. And yes, I'm laying down. I'm exhausted. He's pretty creative at keeping his team competitive and keeping his team fresh. I made fun of him because they re-signed Kevin Porter Jr., which hard capped him. I thought that was dumb. I thought you could have used that to, make a separate move. But I gotta give the bastard credit. As much as I disagree with cutting Dame, it was not a bad move. Getting Miles Turner next to Giannis is solid. I don't think this makes them any sort of contender or even like a threat to make a deep playoff run. But from a purely basketball point of view, a floor-spacing big who Giannis can pass out to, beautiful. Better shooter than Brook. Probably not a better defender than Brook, but I think it's closer than people think. Just an overall better player than Brook Lopez. It's an upgrade for sure, but at what cost? I understand Damian Lillard wasn't going to play, but you're telling me you couldn't throw in a first and get, like, I don't know, some sort of better player? Get off that contract and not have to be paying, like, 18% of your cap to a player who's not on your team anymore? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe, Miles Turner will turn into an all-star and I'll end up with that guy in my face. We'll have to see. But I'll give John Horst credit. I don't hate this move. I disagree with cutting Dame. But if you're able to get Miles Turner, I understand it. I will say this contract, 4-year, $170 million. Sorry, I think I said that, but I'll just remind you. 4-year, $107 million. What's interesting, and I haven't seen this get talked about a ton, is technically they are paying Miles Turner $50 million. Now, I know that math doesn't add up. 107 divided by 4 ends up being about $27 million. But, plus Damian Lillard's money they have to pay him, it's $50 million. It is $50 million. I know they're not necessarily paying that directly to Miles Turner, but in order to get Miles Turner, they are paying $50 million. Plus the trade kickback from this year, and plus if they make any major moves, I mean, they could make, moves on the margins and be fine, but if they make any major moves coming up, they're going to have to pay more because they're going to be in the tax. So we'll have to see what they do. This is certainly interesting and apparently something that nobody anticipated. Even the Pacers, like, lowballed the dude. I think they gave him 3 for $50, which I don't think is a bad offer for Miles Turner. Like, I totally get it. But look, again, maybe this will prove me wrong. As the cap steadily rises, okay. As, you know, maybe as they get more assets, you can swing it for somebody better, somebody to upgrade this team. Okay, then I'll get it. But I don't know. I just don't fully get it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. And I understand availability to some is the best availability, or availability to some is the best ability. And look, maybe Dame comes back and is terrible. I think that's a possibility, but we'll see. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I will give him credit. It does get them off of a pretty substantial amount of salary cap. I know that was a lot of sort of nothing. Probably a lot of repetition. I apologize. I'm exhausted. So my brain is fried. But yeah, TLDR. I don't hate the move. I understand it. But we'll have to see what they do in the future. And we'll have to see where Dame goes. Could Dame just be done? Could he just retire? I don't think he will. I think he wants to keep playing and get a ring. But where does he go? I've seen some rumors of him going back to Portland. Reportedly, he just lives there. He told the team that he's going to be rehabbing his Achilles in Portland. So we'll have to see, but I don't know. I just feel bad for Dame. As soon as he gets to Milwaukee, after actually not wanting to leave the Blazers, he rescinded that trade request after Miami was not an option. After not wanting to leave the Blazers, he got traded. Wife divorced him, apparently a very messy divorce. Gets a severe blood clot, was playing through injuries, and now he tore his Achilles, and then got waived. We'll have to see where Dame goes. Dame's my guy, but yeah. Next up, this is a move I love. I hate to say it, the Nuggets are killing it. The Kings trade Jonas Valanciunas to the Denver Nuggets for Dario Saric. Now, Saric, for those of you who follow backup centers in the NBA, you will know that he is turbo dog-ass now. He is not good. They were playing DeAndre Jordan, Zeke Nnaji, and I don't know. What's his face? Peyton Watson at backup center over him. Now, because the last executives were also turbo dog-ass, shout out to Calvin Booth, they gave this bastard not a trade option, a player option for 1 year, $5 million, which of course he opted into. Like, nobody was going to sign him, which of course he opted into, and I got to give him credit. To get the Kings to trade Jonas Valanciunas essentially directly for him is absurd. This gives them a backup center. This fixes a pretty substantial hole they need. I'm not a big Jonas guy, but as a backup center, I think he's totally fine. I love this move. The Kings, I still question what they're doing every day. Everybody in that front office will not see the lights of heaven. I'm sorry, Kings fans. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Well, I guess I'll preface it with this one. So Milwaukee Bucks traded Pat Connaughton 2 seconds to the Charlotte Hornets for Vasilij Micic. Vasilij Micic is on a pretty big contract, and, seeing as it is Vasilij Micic, but this does get him off a pretty substantial amount of money, and with that amount of money, they were able to sign Gary Harris to a 2-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks, second player option, again, partially to non-guaranteed. I think this is totally fine. I like the move. Get a shooter, get a theoretical perimeter defender. At worst, you're not going to be paying him a ton. He finally got off that egregious contract. And yeah, I think he can just sort of fill that Wesley Matthews role of old. I think this is totally fine. I mean, hard to criticize a team for adding shooters and defenders around Giannis. The 2 second-round picks might have been a little bit much for Vasilij Micic, as much as I think he was an interesting player. I get it. I don't take any issue with that move per se. This is another one that makes me think the Kings will never see the gates of heaven. Sorry, I'm allergic to bad GMing. Dennis Schroeder, we were wondering where he would go. Played absurd in the playoffs. That guy was just, I mean, on fire. Like, the amount of bullshit, like, sidestep threes he'd hit, and then he'd lock up Jalen Brunson on the other end. Like, they won that series. I don't care what people say. They won that series. Tim Hardaway, the NBA admitted it, got fouled on that corner 3 jump shot. Tim Hardaway is an 80%-ish free throw shooter in the clutch. They're down 1. He makes 1, they go to overtime, then maybe I'm, proven wrong. But you're telling me he can't make 66% of his free throws in the clutch? That puts them up 3-1. They win the game after. Knicks are done. Is that a bit of revisionist history? Maybe, but anyways, Dennis Schroeder did play a large part in that, and he played pretty good for the Pistons. I hate to say it, but he played pretty good. But he was a free agent, very clearly, since we're talking about him now, and he agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Sacramento Kings. I think the Sacramento Kings are trying to make the grossest team of all time. Let's just posture on the posturate. Is that a word? I don't know. Pontiferate on the Sacramento Kings starting lineup. They have Dennis Schroeder at the 1. For that money, you start him, of course. Apparently, nobody views Malik Monk as valuable, which is a little weird. Dennis Schroeder at the 1, DeMar at the 2, Levine at the 2, DeMar at the 3, Keegan at the 4, Sabonis at the 5. Ooh, that's disgusting. That is awful. They declined. This is just further to prove that they have, no real intelligence, I guess, is the correct word. They took Keon Ellis's team option rather than declining him and giving him an offer sheet. For those of you who don't know why that's significant, you may not love these videos as it is a little bit nerdy, but this means that next year, Keon Ellis is an unrestricted free agent. Well, if they offered him an offer sheet this year, he's a restricted free agent, meaning he can come back to the team no matter what. The Kings front office will never see the gates of heaven. Never. And if they do, something's gone horribly wrong. The devil has taken over. The Antichrist has won or something like that. But look, as a fit on the Kings, I hate it. I just hate it. Why get a guard who can't efficiently shoot, drive, is an okay passer at best? I just don't get it. Dennis Schroeder is totally fine as a backup point guard, spot starter, sometimes starter depending on the right context. As your lead ball handler, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. This is the biggest news of the night. Jericho Sims, 2-year deal with the Bucks, minimum. Cool hair man is going to play more for Milwaukee. He might be the worst player in the NBA. I don't know how he got more money. But look, they lost Brook Lopez. I anticipate we'll have to see some Jericho Sims minutes. Maybe he proves us wrong. Maybe he becomes something good, but we'll have to see. They don't have any playmaking guards. They just have a bunch of guards who can shoot and sort of handle the ball. Like, their guard rotation is disgusting. I know we've said that about some teams like, wing or center rotation, but their guard rotation is awful. They have Kevin Porter Jr., an inefficient bucket getter who's not that good. Gary Harris, meh. Gary Trent, meh. They declined Ryan Rollins' team option. Like, they have nobody. Outside of Giannis, they have nobody who can dribble. Like, we'll have to see, but... That's funny. My sister spilled something on her pants, so she's coming over. But we'll have to see what happens, but I just don't understand spending your money on Jericho Sims rather than going to get a decent point guard. But, yeah. Next up, I actually like this deal. Sandro Mamukelashvili signed to the Raptors for a 2-year, $5.5 million deal with the Toronto Raptors. I know I said that, but I think this is totally fine. I think this is an upgrade over a Chris Boucher type. I think this is just totally fine. They need shooting. They need some spacing. I don't really care if you're getting it from the big man spot. Sandro Mamukelashvili is a guy who theoretically can pass, space, and as much as I don't love him as a player, I think he could be good in that sort of system and in that role as a third-string center, as a third-string power forward. I think he can be totally fine. This is one I hate. Hate it. Masai Ujiri is not the Raptors GM anymore. I'm not sure who is. I know I said I'll keep you updated, but I haven't seen anything. I'm not sure who's making these moves. Bobby Webster. Bobby Webster will not see the gates of heaven. Bobby Webster. What are you doing, man? I praised you for that last trade, and now I gotta damn you for this one. Jakob Poeltl, 4-year, $104 million contract. Just what are you doing? What are you doing? This man is quietly creating one of the most expensive rosters in the NBA. You think I'm kidding? Go look it up. They are over this first apron by a pretty substantial amount. Jakob Poeltl is 31. Jakob Poeltl, I think, is one of the better centers in the NBA, but he's also 31. He's someone who can't shoot, can't create for himself. He's just really good at what he does, and that's play good rim defense, be a lob threat, be somebody who can get you some post buckets if need be, somebody who can get good screens, somebody who can roll, somebody who can pass out of the short roll. That's not what the Raptors need. They need some of that, sure, but you need spacing. You drafted Colin Murray-Boyles, for God's sakes. Is he just gonna... do they view him as a center? What is going on? I just think they want a team with the least spacing possible. They want to say, fuck it, we're going back to the dead ball era. Mid-range jump shots and contested rim attempts only. Let's get it. Yeah, I don't get this. I just don't get this at all. Well, I guess I should clarify. This is technically a 3-year extension because he's picking up his player option for this year at $19.5 million. And you want to know why he's picking up his player option at $19.5 million? It's because, the extension, of course, but it's because nobody was going to offer him that much money elsewhere. I think Jakob Poeltl is a totally fine center. I think he's amongst the better centers in the league. I think he's a top 10 center, no doubt. Which I know sounds high, but, for a position group, I think that's totally reasonable. I just don't get it for the Raptors. We'll see. Maybe they move on from him. They can't for a little while now, but yeah, this puts them into the first apron and just kills them. Stop showing me the same news. Oh, this is a move I actually really like. Josh Minott to the Celtics, 2-year, $5 million deal. I've been somebody who's actually liked Minott and Leonard Miller. I still like Leonard. Sorry. My fault. I am somebody who still likes Leonard Miller more. Obviously, he hasn't expired, but Josh Minott's a guy who's been pretty interesting. In the G, he's been pretty good. When he's gotten minutes, I thought he's been okay. I think we're going to see some Josh Minott minutes this year. And if he hits, I think he can be somebody that the Celtics could really benefit from when when Tatum comes back. I think he can be a totally fine NBA rotation player and maybe a starter. And if he really hits, you got him on a 2-year, $5 million deal. Great. If he sucks, you got him on a 2-year, $5 million deal. Great. We'll have to see, but Celtics still need centers, but I like this move. I'm totally fine with them taking swings. They're to the point now where I think they don't necessarily need to intentionally tank to get into the lottery. I think they can play their guys, maybe be a little bit sketchy with White and Brown's minutes in games. You know, we might see a couple fake back spasms thrown in every once in a while, but I like this one for the Celtics a lot. Still need a center, but this is actually one that I do like as well. Tim Hardaway Jr., 1-year deal with the Nuggets, minimum, I'm pretty sure. I think just vet minimum. I think that's really all the Nuggets could afford. They have the MLE, but I doubt they spend that on Tim Hardaway. Totally fine move. Bench shooter, bench scorer. Hasn't been great the past couple years, but you don't need him to be. I mean, I doubt he's going to play much, but if he does, he's playing around Nikola Jokic. He was pretty good next to Cade Cunningham in a lot of senses. He'll be better next to Nikola Jokic. You know, I know that's bold to say, but he'll be better next to him. So I like this move. I think this is totally fine. The LA Clippers, this is one I get because, you know, they have Rick Lopez now, but waiving center Drew Eubanks, and Eubanks is signing with the Kings. I forgot Eubanks signed with the Kings, so that makes the Dario Saric deal a little less bad. But the Kings' depth is also awful. Their front court depth especially. Saric is probably more of a power forward. So we could theoretically see some lineups with Lyles at the 3, Saric at the 4, Eubanks at the 5. And that will hurt me. That will hurt me physically. I'm going to come on to one of these videos and I'm just going to be battered and bruised. You're going to be like, Owen, did you get robbed? No, I watched Kings basketball for 20 minutes. I watched Dario Saric play basketball for 3 minutes and I almost died. But no, I don't mind this one for the Kings at all. Minimum, totally fine. Drew Eubanks is a quality backup center. Totally fine. This is an interesting one. And to me, this is sort of damning on Malik Beasley. Duncan Robinson, part of a sign-and trade with the Pistons, is now a member of the Pistons. 3 years, $48 million. Also what they offered Malik, basically. Simone Fontecchio goes to the Heat. He give up nothing. They give up Duncan Robinson, basically. I think it's Simone and maybe a second. Nothing terribly substantial. As much as I liked Simone and thought he was good last year, he just didn't really play much, so I get this. Malik is a better player than Duncan Robinson, but we also haven't seen Duncan Robinson in a system where he's only asked just to shoot. We have early in his career, and he was pretty good. There's a reason he got that massive contract in Miami. But then once he was asked to do a little bit more, I thought he could, and I thought he did it fairly well. But he didn't like it, so they benched him. Hasn't played a ton. Is a little bit older, 31. Came out of college, I think, at 26. He's older. He's an older fella. But just adding shooters around Cade, I think, is totally fine. Do I wish Malik did not gamble? Yes. This is alleged, of course. But, yeah. If Malik's gone, I don't take any issue with him doing this. If Malik is still around, I take issue with him doing this. But don't be surprised if next year Duncan Robinson averages 13.5 points a game, and it's off of, 4 threes and 2 free throws. This is a good fit. Duncan Robinson is a good movement shooter. I think he might be a little bit better movement shooter than Malik, but Malik is just better catch and shoot and just sort of overall. But I think that this is totally fine. 3 years, $48 million, little bit rich for my taste, but I think this is totally fine. Apparently that's funny. I didn't realize. His 1,200 3-pointers on the Heat are the most in team history. Trey Mann, 3-year, $24 million deal. Trey Mann was playing pretty well when the season started, and injured his back, and then we just didn't see him for the rest of the year. Those of you who know me know I'm not a big Trey Mann guy, But for $8 million, I think this is fine. A guy who's younger, has a bit of upside, can maybe be like a solid bench scoring guard, Malik Monk type at best. I think this is totally fine. I think $8 million for most players is going to be totally fine, especially when, players still have a little bit of potential, have some on-ball juice, and can be interesting. I think this is totally fine. This does give them a bit of a crowded backcourt with Ball, Sexton, Miller. It's a crowded backcourt. So we'll see what they do. But just purely from like a contract standpoint, I think this is fine. And it'll just be interesting to see what they do. Do they keep Colin? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. Mike Brown hired as the New York Knicks coach. I think this is fine. Mike Brown just isn't a great offensive coach. I know he led pretty good offenses with the Kings, but after that it sort of fell off, and part of that was just on the backs of absurd injury luck and just incredibly hot shooting that just didn't stick around. I think this is a fine move. I think out of all the options available, barring they get cute and hire somebody who I certainly would have preferred, but more of an unknown candidate, I think this is probably one of the better options out there. I think you could have gone with him alone, but he oftentimes has been criticized for not being creative enough. I think you could have gone with the Jenkins. It's sort of the same issue with him. I think he's a better offensive coach than Brown, but I think this is totally fine. I think the Knicks just totally embarrassed themselves going about, firing Tibbs and then just asking everybody under the sun if they wanted to be the Knicks coach. I think that was an embarrassing way to go about it, and quite frankly, a dumb way to go about it. But ultimately, nobody's going to remember the, month period where people were like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the Knicks' new head coach. They're going to remember Mike Brown, especially if he wins. So we'll have to see. Mike Brown is a guy who tends to play his guys a lot, but Mike Brown also just had no good bench players on the Kings. While here on the Knicks, he now has a solid 8 or 9 guys he can play. Will he play 8 or 9 guys? Probably not, but we'll have to see. I don't mind this move at all. These are just details of his contract. Spencer Dinwiddie, 1-year deal with the Hornets. Yes, you heard me right, Hornets. I don't know what the Hornets are doing, if I'm being totally honest. If I'm being brutally honest. I just don't... Do they want a lineup of just all guards? I'm not sure what their end goal is here. I don't think Dinwiddie's a tradable asset, as he was not particularly good on the Mavericks. He got a lot of minutes. He is older. He is injury prone. At least his history shows he's injury prone. I mean, the issue is he hasn't really played enough minutes to get injured. But I don't mind this. I think this is fine. Maybe this helps calm down LaMelo or something. I'm not entirely sure what they're thinking here. Maybe they move him on for a second. But yeah, I just don't get this. I don't get this at all. Dante Exum, former Jazz man. I can't say my guy because he was a total bust. And then he immediately went to Dallas and shot 50% from 3 or something crazy like that. Returning on a 1-year deal to the Dallas Mavericks. Apparently he considered 2 other contenders but returned to Dallas to share ball handling duties to start the season with D'Angelo Russell. Dante Exum is not a very good ball handler. I think Dante Exum could start, but Dante Exum is best in that Nickeil Alexander-Walker role. Maybe a bit of creation, maybe a bit of passing, but ultimately you just want him playing 3-and-D. From my understanding, this is a pretty cheap deal. I haven't seen any specific numbers, but I'd be shocked if this is more than $5 million. This is an interesting one, and this is one that, we all knew this. DeAndre Ayton signing with the... Drumroll at home, please. Los Angeles Lakers. Shocker, I know. DeAndre Ayton, according to Jake Fisher, is making $16.6 million with the Los Angeles Lakers. Is that per year? If that's just like his contract as a whole, that is a fantastic move. If that's per year, I get it, but less high on it. Well, Sham says he's earning $34 million next season. That might just be part of the buyout. But 2 years, $16.6 million agreement. I'm going to assume Jake Fisher meant... no. Actually, that is 60. He's making $8 million a year. God damn it. I hate to hand it to ISIS here, but Rob Pelinka, you bastard. You lucky, lucky bastard. This is a fine move. Fine. You win. You made me give you praise. That's twice on this channel. God, I hate the Lakers. I'm excited because DeAndre Ayton is somebody that the Lakers fans are going to be like, we got the next MVP. DPOY made it to the finals. Da-da-da-da-da. How did he fall to 20? I posted that on a Lakers subreddit just because he torched the Jazz in a game because the Jazz just kept leaving Dalton Connect open in the corner and he was like white hot. So rather than contesting him, they just let him shoot more. And I went into the Lakers subreddit after that game and everybody's like, future All-Star, future MVP, shout out to Josh Lloyd. Future All-Star, how'd they let him fall to us? And then at the end of the season, I said, he's 24, 25, shot like 34% from three, can't play defensively, you guys needed wing help, and he just couldn't play. What happened? Were the other 20 teams right? Nothing. Only down votes. So DeAndre Ayton's totally going to be a guy who Lakers fans are going to think is, going to take them over the top. It won't, and we'll see in, 2 months that they'll hate the guy. But who knows? We've seen when DeAndre Ayton is motivated, he can be pretty good. He has started to turn it on towards the end of the season. There's still flashes of him being really good. I'm done on Ayton. I'm out on him. All my stock is sold. But I mean, if there's anybody who can make him good again, it's Luka and LeBron. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. LeBron potentially being moved. He did. I don't know if he officially requested a trade, but it is evident he wants to be moved, or at least he is seriously considering being moved. I think that's a crock of crap. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go back to the Lakers, but I've been wrong before. I don't know, but if LeBron stays, totally fine. If Luka stays, totally fine. If somehow both go, not as good, but I think this is just a totally fine move. We knew this was going to happen. Player option in year 2. Prove a contract, totally fine. Interesting. Frank Vogel, now a assistant head coach for the Dallas Mavericks, Jay Triano. Yeah. I think this is totally fine. Frank Vogel is still getting paid by the Phoenix Suns. Jay Triano is somebody who's been, pretty good. I don't think he's ever head coached in the league. I could be wrong, but by all reports, just like a solid basketball mind. I like this. That was from Jake Fisher. Let's double check. Refresh the page. Dallas Mavericks player development coach God Shamgod has agreed to join the Orlando Magic as an assistant coach. Andy Miller of Clutch Sports tells ESPN. Shamgod has worked for the Mavericks since 2019 and now receives a larger role in Orlando. We are looking this man up. I have never heard of him. I hope he looks like a 2K generic My Player or the guys you see in Park with like just the absurd face scans. Apparently known as Shamgod Weld. Oh no, he looks like a normal dude. God damn it. Sorry. This is him. Gosh darn it, how dare you look normal? How dare you look like a real human being? I don't have any thoughts on this because I had no idea this guy existed. I thought Shame God was just a basketball move, not a basketball coach. Shouts to him, I guess. But yeah, this seems to be all the news currently. We'll have to keep an eye on the Cum Bucket John Kuminga, where he ends up going. I mean, let's just do a bit. Let's just do a quick recap on the best available NBA FA. Chris Paul, Josh Giddey, he's probably going to get extended, restricted. Quentin Grimes, I think they were waiting to see how the cap turns out, like if other teams have cap. I think now they're just going to re-sign him. Now they're going to re-sign him. Now that basically every team has their money gone. Ayton been signed. Kuminga, restricted free agent. I'm curious what he does. I think the Warriors are done with him, and I think he's probably done with the Warriors. Do they, give him that off? Well, I guess he's, restricted free agent, but do they do a sign and trade? Do they, just sign him and say, suck it up? Like, I don't know. I'm curious. Like, we'll have to see. Chris Paul, I wouldn't be shocked if he wasn't signed anywhere. I think he should be. I'd love him on, like, the Jazz, for example. Just purely from a mentor standpoint, but, we got rid of Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton, so, maybe we just don't need mentors, I guess. So, yeah, we'll have to see for Chris Paul. I mean, I think there's 30 teams in the NBA that he'd fit on, so we'll have to see. Big Al Horford, I think he's probably going to the Warriors from everything I've seen. He's either going back to Boston or the Warriors, and it seems to probably be the Warriors. Chris Boucher, I didn't realize Chris Boucher was unrestricted, so when I said Sandro, I guess he does just fill that Chris Boucher role. Okay. Cam Thomas restricted, they'll bring him back. D'Anthony Melton, he wasn't great before his injury, and then he just had another severe injury. Russell Westbrook, I don't know where he goes. I've seen some mentions of him going to, like, OKC again. That definitely was just delusional fans. But we'll see where he goes. It's not going to be Denver again, especially now that they've added Tim Hardaway as well as Bruce Brown. But we'll have to see where Brody goes, old Russ. But yeah, I think that's going to do her. I skipped yesterday because I just didn't have the time or energy. Turns out that might have been okay. I guess Jared Dudley's holding up the assistant coach market just because he's interviewing with a couple other teams, but I think that's okay. I guess that's going to do it. 44 minutes. I think it's weird. This is one of my shorter videos I've done in a while. I'm not accustomed to this. I don't like this. I will double check. I mean, there's some moves that I think the Jazz could/should make, but number one, Dame, Gid, Kuminga, Malik Beasley, he might be cooked. Oh, Mo Wagner, I'd be surprised if he didn't go back to the Magic. They still retain his bird rights. Quentin Grimes behind Mo Wagner is ridiculous. Al Horford, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Amir Coffey. Amir Coffey could be an interesting guy for a bunch of teams. I like Amir Coffey. Solid outside jumper, decent defender. Precious Achiuwa, he's dog ass. Chris Boucher, Gary Payton, they'll definitely bring him back. Malcolm Brogdon, I don't know where he goes. He just might be cooked. Jackson Hayes, Ben Simmons, Cameron Payne, Trey Lyles, Taylor Horton-Tucker. Hopefully he never gets another contract in the NBA. Monte Morris, Kyle Lowry. Now we're getting really into the dregs. BJ Boston. The Pelicans should resign BJ. I thought he was pretty good when he played. Javonte Green. Probably just going to go back to the G. Dylan Wright. Daniel Tice. Jabari Walker. Lindy Waters. I like Waters. He's not bad. Not a great season last year, but Markelle Fultz. And we'll go to 35. Burks, Milton, Bagley. Okay. Maybe it's okay that the Jazz have stayed out of free agency. Didn't really have anybody expiring. Got some guys in the draft. Probably going to sign a guy or two off the Summer League roster. But, yeah. That'll be it. Thank you so much to... Oh, what's your face? I'm so sorry. I should have written this down. Let me double check on my laptop. But I've had somebody who's commented on a couple of my videos now and seems to, like, genuinely enjoy them. Which, thank you. Like, that truly means the world. Like, I'm not good with showing my emotions, but, like, that's genuinely incredibly kind of you. Like, genuinely thank you. Sorry about that. Nope, not that one. Was it this one? Hello, Adu Thoreau. Damon Alexian. Yeah, no. Whoever you are my favorite person in the world. I love you. Marry me. Kiss me. Whoa. Let's not take it too far now, but yeah. Thank you so much to him. Thank you so much to everybody who watched. I got, let's see, 12 views on my last video. On my last 2 videos. That's huge. Thank you. Genuinely so much for watching. Like that. 1 view on any of my videos is insane. 12 views is just impossible for me to fathom. That's 12 more views than I probably deserve. But at the end of the day, thank you so much. Please, if you have any comments, leave them below. Any suggestions? I did get a suggestion by our friend listed earlier. He suggested I do some off-season rankings, which I think is a really good idea. And I totally do intend to do. The issue is, again, we have, Giddey, Kuminga. So there's some guys still around, but yeah. If anything major happens, I'll definitely come around tomorrow, but yeah. I love you guys. I will definitely do something around the July 4th weekend video-wise. But yeah, thank you so much. I guess subscribe. I don't know. No, don't subscribe. It's fine. No. Yeah, no, move your finger away from that like and subscribe button, you devil, you. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much again to Dame Alexian. Sorry, please don't take that personal or anything. I just suck with names. Thank you so much to Dame Alexian, and thank you so much to anybody who may watch this. You're the best. Love you guys. Peace.